In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to pick a book from your daunting to-be-read collection. Let's go! Stage 1 in looking for your next book on your massive to-be-read pile would be to consider what book you last read. So for me, the book I'm currently reading and I'm nearly finished is Mother Night by Kurt Vonnegut. This book is a vintage book, so it's kind of like a historical fiction, I'd say. So after I'm reading this, I would consider, like, do I want to read something similar to this, or do I want to completely switch it up or go somewhere kind of in between? So kind of consider what genre you want to go into next and what genres you have on your shelf. So to do this, you could consider what genres are your favourite, what genres you kind of least like, what genres you most like. So I'll go through some examples of what you could choose from. You could go for like a classic book like Animal Farm. You could go for something maybe a little bit easier to read, something a bit more relaxing like Delegate Dream Department Store, if you've just read kind of like a big daunting book that took a while or was quite a heavy read. So maybe something lighter like the Delegate Dream Department Store. Or you could go for like a drama / like murder kind of book like If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I'm still yet to read this, I've heard good things. So maybe consider a thriller like Fallen. I haven't read this, I'd recommend if you like a thriller. You could go for a fantasy like Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. I'm still yet to read this as well. Or you could go for like a classic crime. Everyone loves a crime. Another thing to also consider is possibly like the size of the book. So like this should be an easier read than say that, because I'd see this one as more challenging than to read this just because of the size of the book, really. In my opinion, I'd rather read like big book and then like a medium-sized book, so I don't get kind of overwhelmed. But honestly, it's your choice whether you want to just dive into big, heavy books constantly to be constantly immersed in big worlds, or if you want to have kind of essentially like a breather and read a bit of a smaller book. If you're lacking a bit of motivation, just pick up a short story and you'll finish it quickly, and then you'll be back on the bandwagon, eager to read more because you've just finished a fresh book. Another kind of strange thing that I like to consider that maybe others might not really think of is just flicking through the book that you're kind of a bit skeptical on. And it's gonna sound weird, but look at the size of the words, how many words there are per page. Is that going to be kind of a bit annoying or a bit challenging for you? Maybe look how often the chapters are, or in this case the scenes in this book. See if there's like big chunky chapters, or if there's like a load of short chapters like in this book here. Because I definitely prefer to read a book that has short chapters and just loads of them, rather than like a book, the Delegate Dream Department Store. This book, the chapters, there's like 20 pages between each one, and I like to read chapter to chapter rather than pausing in between. So I'd say a book with shorter chapters would be better for me at the moment, but obviously if you're in the mood for something long and heavy, go for a bigger one. At the end of the day, just have fun with it, you know. Imagine your TBR shelf is just a bookstore that you're in. Read the blurbs. Imagine you're buying the book for the first time. Is this what you're gonna love for like the next week of reading, or is it gonna just annoy you or just feel like a bit of a burden when you're trying to read? So yeah, that is kind of the 3 steps to choosing a book from your ginormous TBR, which I'm sure it is probably. I bet you go on crazy shopping trips and come back with millions of bucks, and then you're like, oh my god, I have to read this many books. What? So consider the 3 things I said. Consider what you just read. Do you want to read something similar, or do you want to read something completely different to give yourself kind of a break? Consider the size of the book. Do you want something bigger, more immersive maybe, bigger worlds, you know? Or do you want something shorter, something you can kind of get through quick to keep your reading motivation going, you know. And then just consider the books you have a look at the blurbs, see which one reaches out to you the most, and just go on from there, you know. Just imagine you're picking the book up for the first time again. Pick the one that draws you in the most. Or, just a completely rogue idea, just chuck your books into a wheel and just spin the wheel. Genius. Why has no one thought of this? They probably have, but genius that is. So that is how to pick a book from your massive TBR pile. This is not all of my TBR. I've actually read some of these and not read some of them, and there's also like probably about 10 more upstairs. So yeah, my pile is ever growing. But yeah, I hope this video could help you pick your next read. If it did help you, let me know what that read is. I'm really interested to know. And maybe consider liking the video if it did help you or you just enjoyed it. And maybe a cheeky subscribe for more content just like this. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.